My name is Renzo, and hydraulic fracturing in California should not be banned because it does not pose a significant threat to the health of people or to the environment. The advocate's first secondary claim was that the chemicals used in fracking can leak into local watersheds and contaminate the water supply. Actually, according to cleanresources.org, the shale being fracked is a mile below the surface and is separated from water supplies by about a mile of rock, solid rock. And scientists say that it is very, very unlikely that the mixture, which is the fracking fluid, would actually find a stem and work against gravity and go up through this rock into the aquifers. So also, now that we're on the subject of fracking fluid, the fluid is actually 90% water, and then 9.5% sand, and then 0.5% of that is the chemicals used for fracking. And those chemicals really just help break down the rock so it could actually be fractured. Moving on to the secondary claim, which is hydraulic fracturing can lead to the depletion of water sources. First off, water does not have to come from the California aquifers. So because we've had problems in California with drought and whatnot, the water does not have to come from California. Also, the water used for fracking was already extremely salty, and so with sodium chloride. So theoretically, you could use salt water for fracking, and that way you don't have to worry about depleting our freshwater sources. Also, sure, we use for about 40 billion gallons of water to fracture. If you compare that to the amount of gasoline the United States uses in 1 year, which is about 3 times the amount, which is America uses 134 billion gallons of non-renewable gasoline, while water is renewable. I think it's a fair trade-off to invest more into fracturing as opposed to investing into gasoline. His other piece of evidence to go with that is that the water solution in fracking, its use of fracking is dangerous and is a public health hazard. As I said before, the majority of that water or the majority of that fluid is water, and it is not harmful. What is harmful potentially is that fracking, when the rock is broken, the natural gases escape and that kind of leaks into the groundwater, and that makes the groundwater kind of contaminated. But that is a thing that could be fixed as we invest into fracking. This is because this type of fracking and harvesting natural gas is it's a very new technology, so we need to get better at that. This third secondary claim, which is hydraulic fracking will increase the risk of seismic activity. Easy evidence, according to the recent report by Energy Advisory Board Shale Gas Production Subcommittee, tiny micro-earthquakes often occur at shale gas extraction. Tiny micro-earthquakes. Tiny micro-earthquakes are in fact tiny micro-earthquakes. They are very small, and so far have not had there's no evidence of any type of or any repercussions as a result of these tiny micro-earthquakes. The current laws regarding fracking in California do not sufficiently protect public interests. That is not true, because California, as it is trying to be a leader in economic or in environmental policy, if we invest in fracking, we are moving away and we're trying to find a different source of energy, which is in fact more clean than gasoline, as making electricity and everything. Using natural gas releases less emissions. So by going into fracking, we are in fact following with our world leader environmental policy interest. So, advocate said By banning fracking, we will eliminate the public health risks associated with fracking and allow for the growth of clean energy. Well, no, because by banning fracking, we will eliminate the progress of this very viable technology. There's a very large abundance of natural gas in North America, and it makes no sense how it's harvested. The EIA estimates that there is 2,203 trillion cubic feet of natural gas that is recoverable in the United States alone, and that is enough gas to last us about 92 years of this fairly clean source of energy. So fracking is good. Thank you.